All right, testing, 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 testing. Okay, this looks like things are up and running. So good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's group break. Tonight we will be busting the basically brand new 2025 All-Star Game box and a box of 2024 Panini Prizm. This is a retail blaster, which should contain, as you can see down at the bottom there, 4 blaster exclusive red ice prisms. So this is a relatively inexpensive break. This was a buy one, get one free in terms of the teams. And that's what we're going to do tonight. So speaking of the teams, I need to quickly go down through the list of who has, of who has what. So using a version of your Discord name, Diamondbacks are going to Don Dog, the Braves to Jackal, Orioles to Jackal, Super Gadget has the Red Sox, Swinko has the Cubs, Dr. Mustang the White Sox, I have the Reds, JC has the Guardians, Cards on Cards has the Rockies, Pennsylvania Tiger has the Tigers, JC has the Astros and Royals, Peach Pitts has the Angels, Dr. Mustang has the Dodgers, the Marlins are going to Uncle Ben, as are the Brewers. Iowa State has the Twins. Peach Pitts has the Mets. Don Dog has the Yankees. Super Gadget the Athletics. JC the Phillies. 412 J Mac has the Pirates. Swinko has the Padres. Vosprink has the Giants. Pennsylvania Tiger has the Mariners. Cards on Cards has the Cardinals. I have the Rays. 412 J Mac has the Rangers. Vosprink has the Blue Jays. And Iowa State Bison has the Nationals. So that is the full list of who has what. Of course, we are going to break both of the boxes tonight, and then these cards will all eventually be sorted and added to each person's respective stack. Anyone that wants cards shipped then can contact me over on the Discord and request shipping, and then I'll get you a shipping quote as quickly as I can. Good evening there, Super Gadget. I hope you are having a wonderful evening. It was a beautiful day here in Pennsylvania. So that's nice. Gonna get hot, I guess, the next few days, but today was darn near perfect. All right, so I think we'll do the All-Star Game box second, since that's kind of the main highlight, I would say. So let's just put that up here, and let's bust the Prizm box first, shall we? I know these beautiful summer evenings and doing them around 8:30 if possible does make it hard for people to watch sometimes in real time. So Super Gadget, I'm glad you were able to join us in real time. And hopefully some others will make their way in as well. But if not, there's always the replay. All right, so this should have 6 packs, 5 cards per pack. So 30 cards, 6 times 5 is what we ought to get out of the blaster. It says blaster exclusive red, blue, and green pulsar prisms. The red ice are blaster exclusives. There's color blast, retail exclusive, instant impacts. So even though it is in fact a retail box, there's a lot of retail only stuff. So if you're someone collecting Prizm, you need both the hobby and the retail version to get all of the cards of your player, if you're a player collector anyways. I know that all too well from previous years of collecting Barry Larkin when he's in the Prizm set. I actually don't know if he's in the 2024 set, so that'll be a problem for another day. I don't think he is, but maybe I'm wrong. All right, so we begin with... So I guess you'll hear me moaning and groan. I hurt my shoulder months ago and didn't know what I did, just kept getting worse and worse, and finally got an x-ray, then an MRI, and met with the doctor, and basically I was diagnosed with frozen shoulder, which to my understanding basically means I can't move my shoulder. And if you hear me moaning and groaning, it's mostly because it just hurts trying to reorient. It's my right arm, and I'm right-handed for most things. So yeah, so if you hear me moaning and groan, just ignore me. All right, anyways, with that out of the way, we have Mac Horvath for Baltimore. Enrique Bradfield Jr. also for Baltimore. And then our first color is a nice one for Texas. And Evan Carter rookie. Just like that. And you might have seen, because that was unexpected, we have a sensational signature, Carlos De La Cruz for the Phillies. First pack of the break. Surprise autograph. Not guaranteed in a blaster. Not guaranteed. And the Phillies are going to JC. So that will be going to you, my friend. Super Guy just says, hot, dry where you are. Yeah, it is dry here. We had a wet summer, spring, and David Wright rounds out that pack for the Mets. It was really wet for the longest time, and then all of a sudden it just got super dry. In fact, I had to water my garden tonight. Everything was wilting in the sun and heat. So we'll sleeve that right away. So there we go. We got an auto. Surprise auto in the very first pack of the break. All right. Pack number 2. Texas gets Nolan Ryan. We get a fireworks of Aiden Miller for the Phillies. That's a pretty cool looking card. And we have a red. This was the cracked ice or whatever they called it. The red ice prism. This, I think, is a Pulsar prism. Also retail exclusive, but a nice one for the Brew Crew. Jackson Churio. And you can see if I hold these both up with the light, those are very different refractor designs. So, very nice. Gary Sheffield for the Yankees and Eric Gagne. There's a name I haven't heard in a while for the Dodgers. Bradfield is a holo prism. Where did I just... I missed the Bradfield. I'll pull it back up in a second. We got Will Clark for the Giants. There's a prismatic Jordan Lawler, Arizona. We've got Reggie Jackson, red ice. We have Drew Gilbert for New York and the great Ty Cobb. All right, so I missed something already. Oh, yep, you're right. That's a very shiny prism. Hello, Adam. Good catch on that one. All right, so let's see if we can't try to organize what we got already, just so people can see it. We have those two. We have this guy. That one's shiny. Did I miss any other? So this will say Prism on the back, up at the top. Did I miss it? That was an insert. That was an insert. Okay, I think we're good now. So we had the 2 inserts, running out of space. A lot of stuff for just a blaster. I like the fireworks card. All right. Next pack for the Marlins, Hanley Ramirez. We have another Prism, Moises Alou, going to the national spot because they are combined with the Expos, of course. We got A-Rod for the Yankees. And behind that, Jace Jung for Detroit and Eric the Red for my Reds. A lot of shiny stuff in these packs. Luis Angel Acuna for the Mets. We have another Prism. Dalton Rushing for the Dodgers. We have a green, not necessarily numbered, but just a green, Brock Wilken for the Brewers. It's our second Brewers parallel there. Brennan Sproat for the Mets and Kyle Teal for Boston. JC's hoping for the points instead. And good evening, JC. Juan Marichal for the Giants. For the Padres, another shiny Prism. Leo DeVries for the Padres. We got Tommy Lasorda, cracked ice for the Dodgers. That's a great card. Andrew Jones for the Braves. And we round out the blaster with a Lou Gehrig. So That's a solid haul from a single blaster, right? I think the Prizm cards and set in general are really fun for group breaks because you do get a lot of cool stuff. We had a couple of neat parallels, those both going to the Brewers. We had the prismatic cards, kind of cool. I like the fireworks design quite a bit. And then some of the extra shiny prisms, the retail exclusive red cracked ices, and the surprise hit green prism Carlos De La Cruz for the Phillies. Not numbered, but still a nice hit. Super Gadget says only one card free. Well, to be fair, there was only 30 cards in the box. So statistically, if you get one card for your team, that's probably about what you would expect. The Brewers were the team to have there, and the Phillies, I guess. All right, now for the main event. So I threw the Prizm in mostly just to have some extra cards. This box has a fair number of cards. Yeah, I should have 80 cards in it. So it's, not a huge amount, but not too bad. And Topps apparently has gone back to putting styrofoam in their boxes. You can see there's a styrofoam cube. That's shades of the 90s. And then if I can get these out, they're really wedged in there. All right, there's your empty box. Try to hold that so you can see. Totally empty. All right, so this has 20 cards per pack. We should have 4 packs. So nice thick packs out of this particular set. And that styrofoam got crud all over my mat. Well, that doesn't clean up nicely. There we go. That's going to bug me. The matte design doesn't make it too bad, but anyways. All right. That's enough of that. JC says, wrong color De La Cruz. Wrong red colored. I agree with you. And he's kicking himself. He saw 5 boxes of All-Star boxes at Target the other day and passed them up. Went by the next day. They were gone and haven't returned. Yeah. So my son has gotten into Magic lately, which is a game I used to play when I was a kid. And my local Walmart had the new Magic set, which is Final Fantasy. Now, to be honest, I don't know anything about Final Fantasy. That was never a game I played. They had the packs there, and I didn't buy them. And then I saw what the packs were going for and the stuff that you could get from them. And then when I went back, they were all gone. So same sort of deal. Got to get them while the getting's good or something like that, I guess they say. All right, so I don't know a ton about this set. So rather than waste too much time, let's just jump right in and see what's what. So we begin with a card that's going to make JC happy, despite missing out on those boxes. We have a Classic Swings Yordan Alvarez. Very shiny. You can see the All-Star Game logo in the back. That's pretty cool. That's a good-looking card right there. All right, so that was on this side. But let's start this way. These look more like the base cards. So you get the All-Star Game logos all over, which on camera looks kind of bad, but in person they don't look quite as bad. But we got Garrett Cole for the Yankees, Brooks Lee for the Twins. There's a nice Shohei Ohtani right off the bat for the Dodgers, Jose Ramirez, Guardians, Gunnar Henderson for the Orioles, Brent Rooker, the reluctant whatever they called it, home run hitter in the so-called extra innings. Luis Robert Jr. for the White Sox. There's the right color De La Cruz. Mr. Ellie for my Reds. Bobby Witt, Royals. Royce Lewis, Twins. Manny Machado for the Padres. Orelvis Martinez, Blue Jays. And Adley Rushman for the Orioles. So that was the front half of the pack, if you will. And then if we flip this over, we already saw the Jordan Alvarez. Next, we have Homegrown Heroes, Warren Spahn for the Braves. We have another Classic Swings for the Cubs, Sammy Sosa. Yes, the swing-off participant. I think that is right, Adam. That's what they called it. It was a dumb name. We got another Hometown Heroes, John Smoltz for the Braves. We have All-Star Game greats, Torrey Hunter for the Twins. Very miscut. Look how badly miscut that is. You can just barely make out half the card number up at the top there. We have All-Star Game greats, Ken Griffey Jr. for the Mariners, also miscut. And we have All-Star Game 2025, Zach Wheeler. This is just a regular base, if I'm not mistaken, for the Phillies. So there's your first pack. What do we think of the set? So I hadn't really looked into this set at all, other than when I looked at the checklist, it did seem that having a second box would be a good idea of something else. All right, so if I get my camera to focus, there we go. Junior Caminero for the Rays. Seiya Suzuki, Cubs. Kyle Schwarber, hero for the National League, Phillies. Francisco Lindor, Mets. There's Jordan's regular base card, JC. It is shiny, Super Gadget. Very shiny. Pete Crow Armstrong for the Cubs. Kobe Mayo, Orioles. We've got Ronald Acuna Jr. for the Braves. Sandy Alcantara, Marlins. Paul Skeens, we got our Skeens sighting for the Pirates. Jacob deGrom as a Ranger. CJ Abrams for the Nationals. And Kyle Tucker for the Cubs. And then if we flip the stack over, we've got Classic Swings, Tony Gwynn. He did have a classic swing. He was a heck of a ball player. Hometown hero, Ozzie Albies for the Braves. On other classic swings, Gary Sheffield. Looks like he's a Marlin. Yep, as a Marlin here. Hometown hero, Fred McGriff as a Brave. Yep. And then our All-Star Game greats, Willie Mays for the Giants. And our Pudge sighting. It's been a while since I pulled a Pudge. Ivan Rodriguez. All these All-Star greats, though, seem to be very miscut. That's going to the Rangers. And Roki Sasaki for the Dodgers. Nice rookie there. JC wonders if the miscut cards could go for replacement. I don't know if they replace miscut or not. There's a fair number of people that collect miscut cards, so maybe there's a market there, although in this box they all seem to be. All right. Next pack, we got Jackson Jobe for the Tigers. Roki Sasaki, Dodgers. Zach Wheeler, Phillies. Carlos Correa, Twins. Justin Verlander, Giants. Weird to see him as a Giant. Drew Romo, Rockies. Emmanuel Clase, Guardians. Matt Olson, Braves. Adrian Del Castillo, Diamondbacks. Jung-Hoo Lee, Giants. Corey Seager, Rangers. Shoto Imanaga, Cubs. And Bo Bichette for the Blue Jays. And if I flip over, our classic swing is Mark Grace for the Cubs. There's a name I haven't heard in a while. Hurston Waldrop, hometown hero for the Braves. Our next classic swing is an Astro, Jeff Bagwell. Hometown heroes for the Braves, Eddie Matthews. And our All-Star Game greats is Tim Raines for the Expos. Slightly less miscut. We're improving. And we've got Vlad Guerrero Jr., also slightly less miscut for the Blue Jays. And then our final base is Jackson Jobe of the Tigers. So the cards definitely They look worse on camera, I think, than they are in person. I don't really mind it on the border. I don't love it in the background, but I don't know. They're kind of cool. I was thinking as I'm opening these, like, this seems like this set seems like what Topps Opening Day and Topps Big League and any of the other things they've tried over the years. This is what this should be. This is what kids want, right? It's mostly the stars. It's the all-stars for the most part. Yeah, they still had to put a bunch of rookies in here because Topps can't help themselves. But by and large, you're getting the guys that people have heard of. So I think it's a nice concept. I'm not sure that it was executed well. I don't know. I feel like the foil logo there is definitely lazy. I'm not sure what would have looked better, but there's something different than this. That's my thoughts on the set. JC wonders if we just got unlucky or bad design with the miscutting. I'm guessing we got unlucky and there was just a string of boxes with miscuts, but I don't know. The base seemed fine. Anyways, for the Astros, we've got Cam Smith, Austin Riley for the Braves, Tristan Casas for the Red Sox, Jace Jung for Detroit, Connor Norby, excuse me, for the Marlins, Matt Chapman, Giants. There's Vlad's base card, Vlad Guerrero Jr. for the Blue Jays, Chris Bryant for the Rockies, Luis Angel Acuna for the Mets, and Jackson Merrill for the Padres. And if I flip this over, Classic Swings, there's our second Eric Davis of the break. For my Reds, our hometown hero is Greg Maddux for the Braves. The Braves, I think all the hometown hero cards are Braves. So, Mookie Betts is our Classic Swings for the Dodgers. We got hometown heroes Tim Hudson. And now let's see how miscut this one is. We've got Bryce Harper, All-Star Game great. Yeah, still miscut. Not quite as bad as the first two. You can make out the full number at least. This is Harper as a national, should be pointed out. And then we've got Ted Williams as a Red Sox. And behind him, a surprise, one of two surprises, if you didn't see what is also coming up. But we have a purple parallel, Adley Rutschman of the Orioles, number 13 out of 75. And the Orioles are going to Jackal. So there you go, Jackal. 1375 right down here. You can hopefully make that out. I'll sleeve that in one moment because I also need to sleeve Matt Olson, MLB All-Star Game Greats, event-worn memorabilia. Presumably a National League jersey. Says this card is from the 2023 MLB All-Star Game, going to the Braves. So it's actually from the All-Star Game, according to the card back. And that is a nice hit for Atlanta. And Atlanta is Jackal. So good end to the break for Jackal there. Yeah, the Braves had the largest. I did see that because they had that full insert set. I'm going to sleeve this and the Rutschman. And I have to commend my group break people, all of you over on the Discord, because I think in a lot of groups, if a box like this with the Braves having the most cards, the Braves would be the first team claimed. But instead, in our group, you guys and gals claimed your teams. And, you know, Jackal often claims the Braves as his team. So it kind of worked out. And I like that people weren't just rushing for the team that has the most, whatever that means. I don't know. I just thought it was nice. So kudos to all of you on that one. And I think we did pretty well. I mean, we ended up with a relic and an auto out of the blaster and the All-Star Game Mega Box, I think they call these things. And neither were guaranteed. So there was no guarantee of any kind of hits. So I don't think we could do much better. Yeah, the purple is way cooler. That's what I was thinking. I don't know. You could do something else with the logo there, but it does show up better at least. I think the colored parallels are the key to this. I think if Topps made this concept with, like, I don't know, 4 because they can't help themselves, let's be honest. So 4 or 5 color parallels, and that was just the set. Like, I don't know, make purple your base and green and red and blue or whatever. I think it would be a pretty cool little set, and it would appeal to a lot of people. The inserts are actually pretty nice. I mean, the Hometown Heroes, if you're a Braves fan, obviously this is a nice set to have, but I don't mind. It was in Atlanta, whatever. I like these. Yeah, bummer that ours are all miscut a fair bit, but they're a nice enough set, so they're fine. And I actually really like the classic swings. I don't know why, but I like those, the look of those. So yeah, overall, I'd say it's pretty solid. Let's see here. I got to catch up on my comments. Adam said the borders were a little hideous. We talked about that. Agreed. Super Gadget. I feel better now that I have Ted Williams. There you go. Okay. And JC says, cute product. Maybe I now want to see more of it broken before I try to pick up some myself. Yeah, don't blame me for that. I have not seen this at my local Walmart. But my local Walmart is really bad for some reason at updating its card aisle in general, and even worse with baseball cards. If you want football cards, or you want basketball cards, or for some reason, if you want golf cards, my Walmart's got a lot of all of those, but they seem to get almost nothing in terms of baseball cards anymore. So I think if I see another box of this, I might grab it just to have for, I don't know, a future break or something to augment another box or something like that. But I don't think I'm going to collect the set myself. I like it, but I don't love it. So it could be, it's so close to what I feel like the Topps, big league, the ones geared to kids. It's so close to being what that should be. But for the cost, you need a few more cards. And if that means getting rid of a full insert set, I say that's what they should have done. But maybe they'll get it next year. Still, it's not bad. Where's the All-Star game next year? Does anybody know? I'm not quite sure. I don't remember where they said it was going next year. But wherever it is, if they keep doing this, then that team will be the hot team to get, I suppose. So yeah, I think that's going to do it for tonight. That was a pretty fast break, all things considered. We've got our Patreon breakers group break for July is coming up soon. Remember, I do those after the July payments have processed. So technically we open the products in August, but you have to be in the Patreon in July. So if you're interested in that, let me know. I can send you a link, but that's over on all the information for that is on the Discord and on my Patreon page. I used to have a little thing up here, but maybe I don't. I don't know if I still have one. There should have a QR code pop up on the corner. And other than that, I think I'm going to call it a night tonight, and I will be talking to all of you soon. I'll see you over on the Discord. I keep trying to give away cards over there, so do check in. I posted some earlier today, in fact, that were grabbed pretty quickly. So, yep, good to hang out with everyone. Thanks for chiming in. Thanks for watching, everybody. And I will be talking to you soon. See ya. Thanks, Super Gadget, JC, Adam, everyone else. Thank you. Have a good night. Goodbye.